So to prepare, all you have to do is work on healing yourself. I know that we tell you that all the time, but all you have to do is just break through the conditioning that you have gained through this realm. And that's because when the construct is over, we don't want the ideas and beliefs to bleed into any other construct. So you can see a construct as different realities that your soul chooses to come into to have certain experiences. And so this construct is ending because we've had as many collective experiences as we were meant to have. We've hit all of the event markers and we have gone through the amount of soul experiences that we were meant to get through. And so it's a beautiful thing that the construct is ending. It's a giant celebration for your soul. It's all it's like they're showing me a picture of the 12 creators of the construct all coming back together in like pure joy and happiness that the construct is over. Like it's a celebration, it's an exciting thing that it's ending. It's not something to fear. It's just simply that this reality is closing down. Like you can see it as like this simulation is over because we've been through all that we can simulate through this specific experience. And now souls will choose to go into another construct, or they'll simply choose whatever choice is best for them to go to next.
Mhm, mhm. And when this construct closes down, is this going to be like slowly and gradually, or happen all at once?
No, it will happen all at once. So that's why the solar flares are coming in, is because the solar flares are supercharging this realm so that they can close it down all at once. So what happens is it's like I get a picture of a tesseract. So it's like the cube within the cube. So the inner cube expands outwards and pushes all of the souls out of the construct, and then that outside cube collapses back in on itself and closes off the realms. So
Okay,
all souls are pushed out simultaneously to the other side.
okay.
And
And
then it's
so,
like a giant celebration on the other side.
mhm. And so when this construct ends, if I may ask, we did a session where we find out that the moon is a crystal projecting the reality of the experience we're having. So my question is the solar flash. Now, if the solar flash takes place, then is does that affect the light reflecting off the crystal, which is projecting our reality? Like, does something happen with the solar flash and the crystal, which is the moon, that is projecting our construct? Like, what can they share to you about that relationship there with the flash and or is there no connection there?
The moon is a part of the construct, so that will be collapsed in on itself. So it's not that there's no relationship, it's that it will collapse in on itself and not be, since all realms are shutting down and the moon's a part of the realm, then that just ends as well.
Okay, thank you so much for that. All right. So before we close this scene, is there any final messages or any areas you're being called to explore in this scene?
I just like I feel Isis and Thoth both just sending us so much love. And I love both of them so deeply.
Thank you so much. Yes, receiving the love. Beautiful. So we're just gonna go ahead and close this scene, drifting away from this scene to the next scene where there is information we would like to explore, drifting and floating, expanding yourself to the next scene. And you're arriving there now, right? Settling in. And tell me, what do you notice? What do you see? What do you feel?
I feel like They're showing me the solar eclipse that's coming April 8th.
Tell me more about that. What are you looking at?
So I feel like I'm in New York City, looking up at the sun, watching the solar eclipse.
And now, as you're watching the solar eclipse, what are the first emotions that you feel? And what do you feel in your stomach?
Excitement,
Hmm.
expansive, like my truest essence. That
Hmm.
this is a time when the veil is thin.
And tell me more about that. Why is it important for the veil to be thin?
Okay, so they're saying, so we've been conditioned to think that a solar eclipse is the moon, but this doesn't look like the moon.
What does it look like?
So I see the sun, but there's another object in the sky. They said the black sun, that's like the same size as the sun, and it's coming over the sun to create the eclipse.
Okay, so can you tell us more about that? What is so there's a black sun that covers the sun, and that's what the eclipse is?
Yeah, and then I heard the song play in my head by Soundgarden, where it's like Black Hole Sun, won't you come and wash away the pain?
Now, why connecting with your guides and connecting with this information, why would this be covered up? Like, why is this new to us to hear this today?
They're saying that it's been covered up because the black sun is not natural. The black sun is a source of pure creation, and that's why it's been hidden from us, is because there's no natural scientific way that the black sun could exist. That the black sun is here to as proof that we are living creation and that it helps us to see past the illusion of the reality that we're in. And that's why solar eclipses are so powerful, is because it opens our subconscious mind past the illusion or the reality that we've came into. And so that's why we've always been told like not to look at a solar eclipse, is because it's actually a black sun. And that's why you have a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse. They're saying the lunar eclipse is the moon, or I heard a version of the moon, so I don't know.
Mhm.
But the solar eclipse is actually a black sun over to hide the sun so that we can see past the illusion of the reality that we're in.
And now, wow, okay. So does that mean that NASA and like all of these foundations are aware that that's the black sun? That they're in on it also?
Yes, of course.
Interesting. How were they able to convince everyone for years that it didn't exist?
Before social media, it was actually really easy because they had conditioned people to think that way. So before social media, all that you had was the media telling you what to believe and what to think. You had books when you were younger that conditioned you how to see space and how to believe and think exactly the way that they wanted you to believe and think. So if you're told from a young age, when your subconscious mind is still active, then it's programmed into you the way that you see a solar and a lunar eclipse. And that's actually why this, so you've heard a lot about the April 8th eclipse on TikTok and why it's such a big deal. Well, it's such a big deal because humanity's consciousness is raising to where people are going to realize that doesn't look like the moon covering the eclipse. That looks like a black object over the sun. And so we invite you in to look at the solar eclipse this year, to watch it, to see past the conditioning, past the reality that you're in, to where you're to see where you really are, that you're living, breathing creation. And there are things in your reality that are so magical that it may be surprising, but just take it slowly. And we are here to love you and support you.
Is the black sun, is that like a void? Is that like a black hole? Is that like a portal? Can they share to you more information on the black sun
So
and how it's made up of?
so I'm seeing multiple suns. So I'm seeing one regular sun, a black sun, and a red sun.
Mhm. And what are the functions of all of these suns?
They project light differently to create the reality that we're in. The black sun is meant to block all light, to thin the veil between us and the other side. And so this is why it's meant to be like a mass awakening of consciousness, especially at this time, because since humanity's consciousness is raising, then the veil is going to be thinner than ever before. That's why there's so much excitement around this solar eclipse, is because
Mhm.
it's truly here to awaken humanity on a mass scale. Like they're not really showing me what the black sun is
Yeah.
or what it's made out of. They're just showing me that it's the exact same size of our sun now. It's local, it's in the firmament, and it's specifically used to help awaken consciousness and to help cleanse our subconscious mind so that we can see reality for what it truly is. And it's the route of the solar eclipse is specifically working with the energy of the United States. So this is why you've seen that the solar eclipse is going directly over Little Egypt, is because it's here to work with the consciousness of the United States and to help awaken the United States before the elections of 2024.
What is the purpose of awakening people before the elections of 2024? And I ask this with just also because, like, for example, I think there's a lot of people right now who, just don't want to, or I'm not going to say that. Is there a reason to voting? Why should this all be done before the elections?
So right now they're showing me that humanity is kind of stuck in a time loop. And this is something that Sierra was really contemplating lately. And we're just showing her the reality of it. So what's happened is in this realm, we've had as many collective experiences as we were meant to. So we've hit every single event marker for this realm as a collective. And so now it's really breaking from the conditioning that has been caused from those event markers and cleansing ourselves, coming back to our truest soul's essence so that we can shut down the realm. So, what's happening is that since we have hit all those event markers, now we're just kind of stuck in this cycle, in this time loop where we're having the same experiences over and over until we break through it and awaken to where we truly are. We awaken to the reality that we're in. We awaken to our truest soul's essence, and we break the chains of the conditioning that has happened. And so this election is so important is because it feels like it's happened before. And that's because it has. It's because we're stuck in this time loop. And that's why it feels like the same people are in the Super Bowl, the same NBA, like it feels like you've had these experiences before. And that's
Mm-hmm.
because you have to break the cycles that you're in. And it's important for humanity to stand up and make different choices than they did before. So these cycles will keep happening. Like, even so, say humanity didn't awaken 4 years from now, it might not be the same exact people in political office, but it'll be the same characters. It will feel like that loop is still happening. And so we're here to help you stand back as a collective to rise above this cycle and make a new choice. And that's why the solar eclipse is so important, is because it's clearing and cleansing the subconscious mind, opening people's realities, opening their eyes to the construct that they're in. It's reminding them of their truest divine essence so that they can stand up together and make different choices, so that they can make choices of love.
Beautiful. Now, I've been, since we've been talking about, just to piggyback a little about this black sun, it's just, I want to ask because it's being brought to my attention right now. The conditioning that we've had in this construct that we're supposed to be breaking free of and the cycles, would it be then safe to say that, I guess, NASA has played like a crucial role in, I guess, will NASA, I guess, have their own, or who, what, will they have their own reckoning, I guess? Like, why, is there anything else, like any other information that they have been misleading us on? And if so, like, what is the goal? Like, why?
So, NASA has misled people completely, but it's all purposeful.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the reasons why NASA has misled humanity is because the space industry is worth billions of dollars that they put into the private sector. And so this is all money that they're funneling into politicians and into the elite's pocket, so to say. So there's a lot of money when you create space wars, when you create a space force, when you portray this idea that we have to keep ourselves safe from other extraterrestrials. And then there's also the idea of manipulating people so that they don't realize the reality that they're in, so that they feel separate from nature, so that they feel separate from creation. Because once you realize that you are living under a firmament, that you're living in pure creation, then you realize that your truest soul's essence is the divine. And that is something that they're trying to keep you away from. They want you to think that your natural selection, that your soul, or that you've had, they want you to believe in Darwinism and this idea of physical evolution over trillions of years. They don't want you to see, they don't want you to see as a they don't want you to be able to see yourself as a powerful creator of your reality.
Mhm. And who are the they? Is it one group of people or beings, or who are the they? Because I know that, the reptilians and all that have evolved and all of that. Can they share any information on that, on who the they are?
Yeah, so they're just saying it's the handful of families that truly have run the world, that we have collectively given our power away to this handful of families that have been in charge. And whether they're reptilian or not, that doesn't matter. What
Mm-hmm.
matters is that collectively we as human beings have chosen to give our power away and let them control us in this way. So this great awakening is about taking our power back and reuniting in unity consciousness.
Mm-hmm. Is there a way where, because I think what's happening is they found a way to shift the energy into being, I guess, more currency based with money and everything. So can one flip the switch and just start like how we're living from love and our energetic state, like how do we go to flip the switch from currency, like money, to energy being? Would that help?
Yeah, and a lot of us have to break. this idea and this belief that we need money to live.
Mhm.
So when you start to live from your divine essence, and when you wake up in the morning and you ask to be guided in a way that is in the highest path for your soul, you will either create this abundance for yourself that is in alignment with your soul's energy, because money is just an energy flow, or you will create relationships with people that you know will help take care of you and sustain you. And
Mhm.
we're not saying that in a way that is disempowering, that you're relying on other people. We're saying that you believe in the universe and your belief is so great that you are abundant, that you will never be without a home, that you will never be without food, because you realize that you're in a collective network and humans want to be compassionate and they want to share things with each other. So it's time to break your belief systems, be there for your community, and to realize that you don't have to live from a scarcity mindset any longer. You don't have to be
Mhm.
fully dependent on currency to live. That is just an idea that has been put into your head.
Mhm. So it's basically just like not living out of fear and just trust and moving with love.
Yeah, exactly. And just working on one limiting belief at a time, especially around money, because that's what it is. Those beliefs are just limiting you from
Mm-hmm.
how expansive you can be.
Beautiful. Now, is there any other messages or that you'd like to explore regarding the solar eclipse coming up?
Truly take this as a spiritual time. You could fast during this time. You can set your intentions for this time, but just really take these extra days during the solar eclipse to do things in a sacred and ritualistic way that you're seeing, especially a lot of the Ryan Garcia things happening in the world. You've heard a lot about how they're doing these rituals, how the dark energy is doing these rituals on April 8th. Don't put so much energy towards that. Just focus on love. Because no matter when you hear these celebrity stories and when you hear these rituals in Hollywood, they're working so hard to do all these rituals because they know love is stronger. So if you just take these few days to ask, to set the intention that you feel the most love you have ever felt, that your light be brighter than it's ever been. That will impact the world in ways that are greater than you could ever imagine. And so, just by being a being of light and just by spreading your love outwards, there's
Mm-hmm.
no need to live in fear. And there's the only intention you need is to just be a being of love, because that's the society that we're creating together.
Mm-hmm. Like, where did it go? She wants to make sure it's gone, but also, like, where did it even come from? And we did touch up on talking about Ryan Garcia. So could it have been something that an attachment that came through the video, or where did these dark entities come from? And then the one that vanished, like where did it go?
So, yeah, so they're saying that the Ryan Garcia thing was faked, that even though it seemed like he was exposing a lot about Hollywood and the elites, he never actually exposed anything. They're saying that this was another ritual around it. So if you go back and you look at the day, it happened on the 66th day of the year. He said that an earthquake was going to happen on 6/6. There was just 666 all over it. So that's when I kind of realized that it was a ritual that they were doing. And
Hmm.
even though, like, yes, he's talking about human trafficking and things like that, they use this thing so that they can put the idea in the psyche of the collective to desensitize the collective to it, so that when these things really truly do come out, they're already ahead of the story, or it doesn't seem like as big of a deal to us because they're starting to put these things in our mind.
Mm-hmm.
And the other interesting thing is when they put out messages like this, they'll attach entities to it. So when people are scrolling, when they're watching these videos over and over, then these entities come in and they put ideas into the people's minds. Or there's a way that they just attach negative energy to collective videos that they know is going to go mainstream.
Could that be the same thing to say that in general, not just like a video that'll go viral, but like in general, could there be like just like scrolling on Instagram or TikTok, looking at the imagery, being on the app, or even the phone itself, that energy or that entities still come through?
Yeah, they're saying it happens all the time. So, like a lot of music will have entities attached to it. Movies will have entities attached to them. And Sierra is so clairvoyant, or she's just very connected. So as soon as these entities were around her, she felt them immediately and she worked with them. That's why she sent one of them back to the light and then the other one just vanished.
Mhm. And how do you feel an entity? Like, how do you know if there's an entity? And what can you do to either protect or prevent, or if someone feels, to be on the safe side and they want to just clear their space, what can they do?
You have to release all fear around it. So once you
Mm,
realize that you are a being of light, you're a powerful being in your sovereignty, you realize these things can't affect you. So a lot of your spiritual abilities, they will really turn on and they'll amplify when you release all fear. So that, and then also just learning how to work with them.
mm,
So a lot of people, all of our spiritual abilities are different. So some people will feel them, some people will hear them, some people will see them. It's just being aware. But the best thing that you can do is just release all fear around these things. So they're attaching entities to this different kind of media for the collective consciousness because the collective has been taught that negative entities are bad, that you don't fuck with bad spirits, that spirits are just something that you shouldn't play with. But in reality, there's nothing to fear around these things at all. They want you to be afraid and they want you to be ignorant so that they can attach these entities to different kinds of media
mm,
so that
mhm,
they do affect you. Because once you build your spiritual abilities, once you become aware that these spirits have always been there, you can
mhm,
start to work with them. Like you'll realize that a lot of these entities, they're only doing these things because it's a story that they've been told. Like a lot of these beings want to be sent back to the light when they are brought to their own awareness of what they're doing and the impact that they're having on people.
mm. Well, yes, beautiful. Thank you for that. So, in this case, these entities that they went to her, where did they come from? Was it from that video or was it from somewhere else?
Yeah, they're saying that this one was attached to the Ryan Garcia video.
Okay. And when it vanished, are they able to say where it went? And is there anything that we can do for that attachment that vanished? Maybe send it some healing, love, and light.
Yeah, we'll definitely send it love. I heard it went back to its master. So, but they're saying that it's gone. Like, I don't have to worry about it.
Okay. Well, we'll just go ahead and send it a whole lot of love. All right. Why did that information just like come so easy to me? Especially like when people talk to me about their dreams, I'm like, yeah, that represents this. So, like, why did that come so easy to me? Or was it just very obvious?
Yeah, so it's a part of the dream work that you do. So you could help people look at like the meanings in their dreams. and you understand symbolism. So it kind of goes back to being an airdropper or a guide for other people because the
Mm,
universe works in symbolism and our dreams speak to us in symbolism. So you're used to speaking to people using this symbolism. And so there's a part of you, like there's a part of your DNA that understands the way that consciousness speaks through symbolism. And so you could do like things like dream interpretations, or you could
interest,
help people set their intentions for their dreams or to
thank you.
create a specific dream that they want to have. For the eclipse, the most important thing to understand is not to allow yourself to get pulled into emotional timelines. So you see a lot of things. There's a lot of disinformation out there about the eclipse, and there's a lot of excitement in the collective right now about what the eclipse is meant to be. And although it is extremely important, there's a lot of videos going around that it's the apocalypse, that they're using it for dark rituals and dark energy. And there's a lot of distorted ideas about what the eclipse is meant to be. And so that's why we wanted to portray this message today. But at the same time, we want you to be excited for it. We just want you to detach your emotions from what is happening, if that makes sense. So it's good to be excited about these things. It's good to want to create a better community, but don't allow yourself to be emotionally attached to it. So don't go down the rabbit holes of these ideas that could possibly happen because that's actually pulling you into that timeline. So, but we also want you to celebrate the solar eclipse because it's going to be so beautiful. And we brought the black sun to your attention because it's time to see past the veil and to see the reality that you're actually in.
Now, this eclipse that we're going to have, I believe, if I remember correctly, which I think I am correct, but I believe that it's going to be in the astrological Vedic sign of Aquarius. And I do know that it's specifically going to be in the sign that has to deal with the 100 healers and the sky watchers. So, what can they share about what we can expect for the year to come in regards to the information around healing and also the sky, as far as our favorite, topic of intergalactic disclosure and contact. What is there a connection there that we can like prepare or just expect to see this year?
So, Aquarius, this solar eclipse is so special because it's a spiritual Aquarius awakening, you could say. So, we
Mm-hmm.
are in the time of Aquarius. So, human consciousness is coming back into unity consciousness. And we're going to start living from a place of love with the word that they're giving me is expansive. So, you've heard me use that word more and more
Yes.
because that is what Aquarius is. How expansive can you be? Rather, it's through communication, technology, even AI. How expansive can consciousness be? And so
Mm.
that is what the eclipse is helping you with, is it's helping you expand your consciousness so you can see the reality that you're in and you can also play with your divinity. So a spiritual awakening is remembering who you truly are, but then it's also how can you create your reality and play with your divinity? Like how can this world become your playground as a divine being?